Hello again, everybody. It's me, Madame Macabre, and as I mentioned in the last update video, I've been wanting to try out doing some, maybe if I can keep them up, weekly vlogs, which are just kind of like almost personal journal entries, which is kind of worrying because I've never been good at keeping journals, but maybe video format will be a little easier for me to keep up. But the purpose of this is I'm trying to get a little bit better personal connection with you guys as my channel grows, and I find it harder to have one-on-one interactions with you like I used to be able to. So this is me trying new things out. I hope you guys like this. And starting off is always the hardest. I had a hard time thinking of what I was going to actually make this first topic be about. And then I actually was looking over my social media at all. You guys overall have been very, very kind to me. But you say things like, oh, you seem like you're so cool and so exciting and you go out and do all this fun stuff, and it's kind of funny to me because in reality I am a very, very shy and introverted type of person. So to see everybody thinking I'm this really outgoing, exciting person, it's kind of funny to me because I try my best to present that way, but that's what it really is I have to consciously work to present that way. Because it's not in my nature. It's a constant work in progress. And that's one thing I'm thankful to YouTube for, is it's helped me start to craft myself and work on areas where I've wanted to change. But in my nature, I'm always going to be that shy, socially awkward person that, you know, it has to work to get myself in social situations. I'm the one that feels drained by being around groups of people. I'll get really quiet in group settings. That's always been me, all the way back since school. And I mean, the reason I decided to keep going on and talking about this is I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there who might be wired the same. So maybe, you know, we can have that little bit of kinship if we can connect on something personal. And even if you're not wired like me, this will give you a better understanding for how really introverted people work. But I mean, ever since school, like middle school, high school, I was always the very shy, very quiet girl. I was practically invisible my entire time through those schools, which was good because I've heard horror stories about people who weren't the invisible folks, because I could do an entire video just on how terrible the public school system is over here, but that's not this video and that's not this time. The point being made is most of the time I was just very quiet, under the radar. I was never, ever, which is, again, it's funny with the YouTube channel getting so big because I was never the popular person. I was never the popular kid, never had a big circle of friends. I always had maybe 2, 3, 4 close friends, and that was about the extent of my social circle. I mean, I've gotten a few more friends now, but I struggle letting people in. I struggle getting to know people. That's something that's always been this way for me. But on top of being quiet and shy, it's hard to tell because you can't see like many full body shots in my vlogs and stuff with reference, but I'm actually quite tall. I am about 5'8.5", which I know there are women who are much taller than me, and they rock it and it's great, and there's nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with being a tall girl, but societal norms seem to think otherwise, especially in public school. And let me tell you, I got a lot of crap, a lot of teasing for being the tall girl. It didn't help that there was a lot of shorter guys in the school I went to. Again, nothing wrong with shorter guys, it doesn't bother me. But what is a problem is when they use their being shorter and my being taller as more means to ostracize me. You know, I was the tall girl that was also really quiet, and I was into nerdy things. I mean, as you can see from behind me, it's interesting because nowadays nerd culture is becoming chic and popular and trendy, but those of you who have been into it for, 5, 6, 7 years longer, you remember back in school when there was nothing cool about liking this stuff. It made you a target for nastiness from people. They'd make fun of you. There was nothing trendy about it. during the time. I mean, it's in many senses there's a lot of good stuff with it becoming trendy, because at least people can truly like these things and not have to get the same level of crap for it, but it wasn't that way at all in the years past. But I was the nerdy, tall, quiet girl, so naturally I got a lot of crap when I was actually... That's part of why I worked so hard to stay invisible, because when I wasn't invisible, I was getting crap like that. I was the tall nerd girl, no guys really wanted to date me because, I don't know, I was tall and quiet and didn't really talk to anybody, but that was sort of my school experience, and I actually skipped out entirely on the high school experience by doing a program called Running Start, where after my first year of high school, I just pieced out of there and went to the local community college and went to college instead of high school. It made it harder for me to see my friends there, so it was a little bit of a lonely time, but I really cracked down academically and continued down that path and focused. I worked so hard on my school that I didn't really have time to focus on other stuff, but I skipped out entirely on... I didn't do prom, I didn't do any of the normal high school stuff, and I don't regret it, because I don't really have any fond feelings looking back on my high school. I mean, public school is only enjoyable for the popular kids. That's just how it is. Unless you have a group that you fit into tightly, or you are very popular, because there's a lot of politics even with teachers and people there. It's at least in my experience, high school is only enjoyable for the select few. Everybody else just sort of gets along and survives. So I didn't miss... I selectively chose not to participate in all those high school experiences. I just went to the community college because I was around adults who were paying to be to school, who were paying to be at school, so they took it seriously, and I decided to make it about my education, since I didn't have much of a social life anyway. I still don't have much of a social life. I'm trying to expand my horizons and make more friends, but that's still something that is very hard for me. Just because I'm on YouTube doesn't magically mean I'm outgoing and have an easy time talking to people. The only exception to this is when I'm at conventions and places, because I'm in the right magical environment that I can force myself to be outgoing and not afraid of being outgoing. But anyone who's been to a convention can attest that it is the environment there that sort of makes it a lot easier for just about anyone to open up, because you're around so many like-minded individuals. You can let your true colors out, and you're not going to get the same kind of judgment. But I digress. I have always been this way, always will be, I'm sure. It's going to be a constant battle for me to be social, to go out, to meet people, and by God, is it hard to drop your walls when you're like this. I have a really, really hard time letting people in to really, truly get to know me. So there's a select few, and not all of them are even physically here. I've got a lot of people I've met through online who know way more about me than people I know in the physical realm will ever know. But, it's a work in progress, and I know a lot of people who are also wired this shy way can understand how difficult it can be, and I try to be understanding of my friends who are extroverted and social and excitable, and I try to be what they need, but it's I keep saying this again and again, but it's always a work in progress, and I really am thankful to YouTube, because it's helped me grow a lot, and it's helped me have the opportunities to sort of push myself where naturally I would not have pushed myself to grow in some of the ways I have because of YouTube, which has forced me to grow. It's still the craziest thing when I get reactions of people liking me and people coming to me and looking up to me and things because of my channel. It's the weirdest thing, because I may be a YouTuber, but a YouTuber is not all I am. I'm just a normal person. I mean, that's one thing that's really unique about YouTube, is you can be really well known on here, but it does not translate off the internet. Of course, there's a select few of the super YouTubers who have huge channels, and then they're known elsewhere, but for the average moderately sized YouTube channel who's pretty well known online, doesn't translate offline. As soon as you get off that computer, you are just an average Joe. There's nothing different, and I keep saying this again because I really just am a normal person, so it's the weirdest thing when you go to conventions and places and people recognize you and they want pictures with you. And I'm trying to work on being better about, like, being more fun and excitable, because normally, like, the people who've met me at these things, I'm usually kind of like, what? Like, I still am trying to comprehend all this stuff. But, end of the day, I'm just like you guys. I just have a YouTube channel. Doesn't make me any different of a person. So yeah, at this point, I'm kind of just rambling. I don't know. This is sort of journal-esque. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy this. If it's not so well received, maybe I won't keep doing these. But if you guys do like them, I'll keep it up, because I really do. I do want to get better connected with you guys, because as I touched on a little earlier, when I first started with YouTube, it was very small and the growth rate wasn't that fast. So I could talk to all my subscribers, all my followers and stuff on different social media. I could interact with them. I could respond to all the messages and stuff I got. And I felt really, really close with them. But then my channel just boomed, and it was so fast that it grew. I just wasn't prepared, and now it's gotten to the point where I can't have that one-on-one conversation with all my subscribers and all my followers that I was so used to having. That is just gone so quickly that I can't keep up with it. And I've been really missing having that connection, because that's one of the things that makes this special for me, is being able to feel like I've got a connection with you guys. Because again, that's probably rooted in with my shyness, because I don't have a big social circle. I like to feel like I'm connected with all my subscribers. Like, you guys are all important to me. So I'm constantly trying to think of ways I can sort of try and grasp at that connection again, because I'm not going to be able to answer every comment and answer every email and every interaction I get anymore. It's not physically possible. So this segment is sort of my hope to rekindle some sort of connection, to feel like you're getting to know me a little more in a way than me not necessarily. I may not be able to answer your comment or your question, but this is sort of letting you get to know me a little more on a personal level. And I hope you guys enjoy this. And that's about all I have to say this time. I will catch you guys later, and hopefully I will have something maybe more fun or free-spirited to talk about next time, since this one was a little bit more serious and some parts of it were a downer, but these things will go up and down, I imagine. Anyway, once again, I hope you enjoyed that. I will catch you all later. That is all for now. Bye-bye!